All right, so today we are starting off Module 2 by doing Lesson 1's exit ticket. Now, for me, it's helpful to have this information on the side because knowing these conversions is going to help me solve the rest of my problem. Now, our first table is asking us to convert from kilometers to meters, from kilometers to meters, from meters to centimeters, and again, from meters to centimeters. So having this little key on the side helps me solve. So for example, if I had 71 kilometers, how many meters would that be? I know that I have 1,000 times more meters than I do kilometers. That's what kilo means. Kilo means 1,000. So for every kilometer I have 1,000 times more meters. So if I have 1 kilometer, I have 1,000 meters. If I have 71 kilometers, ooh, here's a freebie for you. That means I have 71,000 meters. I'm just taking the same amount of zeros towards the end of the number 1,000 and putting that onto how many kilometers we have to show 1,000 times more. So what if we worked backwards? What if you took away the 3 zeros towards the end of the 1,000? How many kilometers would you have left over if you divided by 1,000? Take a moment to solve that one. Let's look at this one right here. Now we're converting between meters and centimeters. Now when it comes to centimeters, there are 100 times as many centimeters as meters. Think of the word century. There's 100 years in a century. Or think of the word cent. There's 100 cents in a dollar. Centi stands for 100 times. So if I had 81 meters, I have 100 times more centimeters. There are 2 zeros at the end of 100. So if I multiplied 100 times, that means that I'm going to put those 2 zeros at the end of whatever number I have here. So 81 with 2 zeros showing that I multiplied by 100. Now let me include my comma. 1, 2, 3, wee is the same as saying 8,100 centimeters. So now it's your turn to think backwards. If I have 400 centimeters and I divided by 100, if I took those 2 zeros at the end of my number away, how many meters would I have instead? After you've completed the table in problem 1, we're going to look at problem number 2, where we have some mixed units. We have some kilometers and we have some meters. And what they want us to do is they want us to convert it into only meters. Now, these 20 meters are already meters. So the number that we're really targeting is the 13 kilometers. We need to change 13 kilometers into how many meters? Now remember, this is very similar to what we did up here. 71 kilometers is the same as saying 71,000 meters because we're multiplying by 1,000. We're taking those 3 zeros and putting it at the end of our number 71. So what if we did the same thing here and we multiplied this number 13 by 1,000? How many meters would you have then? But keep in mind, we also have these 20. So once you figure out how many meters you have, you also want to add 20 more meters to find your total of how many meters in all. And that's the number that you would have for your answer. we're going to do the same thing here, because if you notice, if I just subtracted 34 from 401, sure, I could do that. But look at your meters. I can only subtract meters to meters. I can only subtract kilometers to kilometers. So when I'm trying to subtract my meters, I can't take away 153 from 101. There's not enough there for me to subtract. So I have to change both numbers, this one and this one, into just meters. Now we know that kilometers means that we're multiplying by 1,000 when we convert it into meters. So if I took 401 and multiplied it by 1,000, I would have 401,000 meters. But look how many meters I have on top of that. I have another 101. So I'm actually going to put those 101 at the end of my number. 401 kilometers, 101 meters is the same as saying 401,000 101 meters. That kilometers basically turns into a comma. So let's do the same thing for this number. Let's change that kilometers into a comma. 34,000 meters, 153 meters. And now that everything is in the same unit, meters and meters, we can subtract using our regrouping skills. So I'm going to set up my standard algorithm. And I'm going to use the same subtraction skills I used in my last module to solve. Now here's my present to you. You have worked really hard learning a brand new chapter with brand new vocabulary and new work to do. So because you've stretched your brain so far, you are only going to be doing problems 1, 2, and 3 for your exit ticket. You can skip number 4. If you want to attempt number 4, you're more than welcome to, but I won't collect number 4 for a grade. Good luck.